Hey everyone, welcome to WellWaveNOW. This is a part of our backstory series that we're doing, and we welcome our guest, Mary Yuter. Tell us, where did you grow up?
Well, thank you, Breck and Tim. I think it's great to have a backstory and know where your provider or the person whom you're talking to is from and what they're about. So, I was actually raised in Santa Clara, California, which is Silicon Valley. And then I kept migrating south after college. I went to college in Santa Barbara and stayed in the beach towns. And my first real job was um, working for a restaurant computer company. And I'll tell you the flow of how this worked its way through becoming a nurse and all that. So I worked in restaurants, and you have a steak, it's medium rare, sauce on the side. Well, from that position, I ended up being recruited into a healthcare position working for a medical billing company. So the actual medical billing part, and clients were medical billing companies. So I was doing Aetna with a copay instead of steak medium rare. So same skill sets, right? Transferable. And I was doing a lot of training, and my clients were all over the country, from Texas to Northern and Southern Cal to New York. And my company ended up leaving and moving to Atlanta, and I did not want to move to Atlanta. And my client in New York, when you're going and you're on a expense account and you're yelling for a taxi and you don't have to worry about paying for any of that, and you're staying on Central Park South with this beautiful view of Central Park, rollerblading out there in the morning before work, it was great. So I that was my client in New York. They asked me if I would come on board. I said yes, and I worked for them for 4 years as their systems and operations manager. And that was more of the medical billing, doctor so and so, billing for a cardiology exam, and copay for the patient. So, again, transferable skill sets.
Great, but let's take you back. I love that. So now
Yes,
you've been in New York. You love New York, and I know you recently moved out of the city, but all
yes.
the time in Northern California and Southern California. What was that like to you growing up? And as part of that, who influenced you the most? In thinking that as you
Oh,
grew up.
great question. I would say my influence was not so much when I was young at that age, although my friend's mother, who's like a second mother to me, she was a nurse at a city hospital in Santa Clara Valley. And she didn't talk a lot about her stories, but she was just a woman of presence and integrity. And when I got the calling to be a nurse, I thought of her. But honestly, when I got out of college, my goal was to be a beach bum for 2 years and wait tables.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was scared too
Yeah,
because in
no
my
shame.
in my time, because University of Santa Barbara, although it had some good academics, was also known as the party school in the state system. So were you partying and beach bumming and
Oh,
finding your way around before you got influenced?
no judgments. I lived that life. I had a ball. I lived right on the waterfront in college and surfed every day. And I remember one day I was late to class because I'd been out surfing, but so was the teacher. And so I was sitting there, and I'd taken off my wetsuit. I had like a little dress on, and I was taking a test, and I had a lot of saline in my sinuses. Apparently, when I leaned over to start writing, they cleared, and there was salt water all over my skin. I was mortified. But yeah, that was life in Southern Cal. And I had a car that was decaled up for Tropical Blend. I got tapped to be a mobile advertising for Tropical Blend based on where I traveled. So I had a lady in a bikini lying on the running board, and little tigers on each of my VW's fenders, and cases of suntan lotion. I did live the Southern Cal
Was,
life.
was it a VW bug or was it a hippie van?
The bug, but the goal is a van. They're unbelievable. Yeah.
Do you have siblings that you grew up with?
My brother has passed, and both of my
Okay.
parents passed. They all passed of heart disease.
And
Ironically,
that's another one of the driving forces behind why you got into what you do today then.
yes, my parents both died of heart attacks before I became a nurse.
Wow.
So my quest was to learn how I could not be another cardiac statistic, and I did not learn anything in the Western medical system other than how to acutely and emergently keep someone alive using chemicals. And but after that, and I personally, I was figuring out the numbers. I've personally given over 200,000 medications in my tenure as a cardiac ICU nurse, and I've just charged thousands of patients and saw them walk down the corridor, and they had no idea what to do. no idea how to really help themselves get better. And they just had a bag of meds and a list of doctor appointments for the future. So that made me really sad and made me want to create a cardiac wellness program using holistic, using all the information I had gathered through my certifications and knowledge to teach people how to apply this and become the CEOs of their own health and heart health. Yeah.
Right. Right. So that's the essence of your work. We'd like to get it. It's the non-medication, sort of holistic lifestyle approach to reversing heart disease, which is great. And you got on that path, as you mentioned, to avoid it for yourself somewhat. But now, so what do you get out of it now? What do you get out of that work?
Well, I have to say it's so fulfilling because I have one client who canceled his open heart surgery because it wasn't needed anymore. He also reversed his diabetes, reversed his heart disease. Another client reversed his heart disease, and we found out that his arrhythmias were from hyperthyroidism, not an electrical default or something going wrong with his heart. And then I've helped clients lower their blood pressure 50 points, 40 to 50 points right away. And everything's holistic. It's things that you can do that people just don't know they can do. And instead of taking all these meds, we move towards supplements that help. So they're taking a lot of capsules maybe or powders in a smoothie instead of taking a lot of pills that are actually going to have toxic responses called side effects in their body. Yeah.
So those are the good days when you get those reversals and the avoidance of things. Now there's some challenging days, I'm sure, that come up as well. And what keeps you going on those challenging days?
Because I know that people can get better and they might have, they might have setbacks. Everybody does. And what you don't want to do is put pressure on someone that you have to do this. It's one step at a time. And some people are so used to doing what their doctor tells them to, or relying on a medication and becoming psychologically addicted to having that statin. So they think they have to have it, even though the dosage is just a whisper at this point. They can't give it up. So it's being patient. A lot of it requires being patient, and everybody's different. Everybody has their own personal chemistry set. So what might work for one may not work for another based on where they are in that season of their life, how their metabolism is, what else is going on for them, what other stressors they have impacting them. So it's patience. I would say a lot of patience and
Yeah.
kindness and empathy and compassion.
Right. Well, that's awesome. That's so beautiful. And so what is your dream project or what's next for you, Mary?
You guys always have the good questions. And there was no, I didn't get these up front. So I am working on creating a retreat. And I'd love to have this for men as well. And the thing is, men tend to not be so prone to show up in person to talk about things like, my wife is not the person I married anymore. She's in heavy menopause. Well, what's going on for her? What do we need to know? I have erectile dysfunction. I don't want to talk about it with anybody. Well, that could be a precursor to cardiac disease. Um, I'm pre-diabetic. I don't know what to do. I've been called toxically masculine. What does that mean? So there's all these things that men, when they go out, they're going out and shooting pool and asking about the Cardinals or the Eagles, and it's not like they have a forum to connect, and nor are they used to connecting in person. I may do an online day treat for men, hitting some of those points in guided conversation, and then where they can change their name and they can be Tom Cruise or whoever they want to, so they can be anonymous on the screen. And then for the women, I am working on a fall retreat on a horse rescue. And they have a huge gazebo that fits 25 people for morning yoga next to a bonfire. And working with the horses, because horses are very healing. So they have some horse work there where you can work with horses for healing and energetic properties. You can also ranch hand in the morning for a couple of hours, helping to clean out the stables. And this is a rescue 503c, so helping with the horses. And then having guest speakers based on wellness. So this is a wellness retreat on a horse rescue. And the rescue house is gorgeous. It's got a chef's kitchen. It's on a heart-shaped lake. It's surrounded by stables and paddocks, and you take a walk up the hill to the gazebo and to more stables and horses. And It's a beautiful, unique opportunity.
Why are having those retreats for the men and the women so important to you? Why is that your dream, Mary?
Because this is a concentrated way to share a lot of information and also have in-person experience with others so that you can fellowship. I think we are so isolated now by doing Zooms on our own, and we're not really having the experience of in-person meetups. And when you have that, and I would not end with the retreat, there would be a follow-up um, Zoom call 3 months later and then 6 months later, so that we can all go back and recapitulate what we went through, what our takeaways were, and how those are going now. So the retreat experience would continue, and so would the collegiality of the experience. So I want to bring something personal in an impersonal world.
Sounds beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
before we move into our last segment here, for our listeners who are just listening to the audio, how would somebody contact you, Mary?
They can contact me personally through my email, which is heart2soulcw@gmail.com. There's no numbers, so it's HEARTTOSOULCW.com. They can also go straight to the website, heart2soulcw.com. I think I said my email wrong, heart2soulcw@gmail.com.
At
They can
Gmail.
reach me through the website. They can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Heart Health Accelerator. It's a bit long, but that is the name of my holistic cardiac wellness program.
Excellent. Now for some fun facts, rapid fire. Are you ready? Here we go. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
I think I know the answer to the next one. Mountain or beach?
Beach.
Yep. And then are you coffee, tea, or something else?
Coffee.
Coffee. Awesome.
IV.
Just pick you right up. Just constant drip. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, we are so excited to have you be a part of the WellWave Now, Mary. It's great to have you on the show. And anyone can join us live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 Pacific time. And remember, wellness, it's in you.